Selamat datang teman-teman. Kita sambil makan ya. Wah, ngapain nih? Oh ya, kita ke... Ya, gue inget. Kita kesini. Bentar. Kita udah ini kan? Udah nih.
The unpromising race pupil returns. And look, babe. When confronted with the harsh truth of his demise, the melancholic academician starts fiddling his own genitalia. His bald spot betrays that he is a compulsive masturbateur.
That's disgusting, John.
It is. Beneath the veneer of academic jargon, the liberal theorist is a beast, a sexual maniac, and a deprived nihilist. Life is a game to him. Words are meaningless. No one is accountable for anything. Nihilistic sex maniac. I take pity on your urges. You clearly want to enter the harbor bad, like a little boy who wants to go on the potty. I can press the button for you. It will open the door. Very well. You may enter the door once. Our...
Finally. Let's go.
Kita... Mana nih? Kemana nih?
The unpromising race pupil returns.
Hah? Kemana nih? Tadi berhasil dibuka. Oh. Okay.
An imposing combination of a punch clock and a payphone is looking down at you from the wall. A note on the side says, "Tokens unavailable due to strike. Use change."
Siapa juga ya?
On second glance, someone has forgotten to properly close one of the drawers.
It's unfortunate for the union to just leave their paperwork lying around like this.
Ambil nggak?
The drawer
Buka aja ya?
opens smoothly. Inside is a well-organized selection of brown folders. Hundreds of documents containing logistical data. Two kinds of transactions stand out. Materials coming into Revachol from the outside world, from Muwindi, Grad, and even Ilmara. And the same materials being handed over to companies inside Revachol. Kuron, Coal City, La Delta, and Jamrock are listed among the many districts where the imports are being sold. It's hard to make sense of this thicket of company names, dates, quantities, and percentages. You try to focus, but the lines are getting blurry.
Oke sih, gue sih why not sih, coba gue
The drawer slides shut smoothly. Lonesome, long way home.
Wih. Wih. Lebih bagus yang ini. Kurang drama aja, drama nggak penting. Save, jangan lupa. Wah, kita bisa
Looks
ambil
like
nggak?
someone left his tarpaulin cloak hanging on the railing here. The white rectangle of the Revachol Citizens Militia is clearly visible on its back.
Bisa ambil nggak sih?
Yes, it was probably you. It does bear the RCM insignia, after all. The service cloak issued to you by your station? Yes, I do.
Hah?
As your fingers touch the tarpaulin, it almost feels like the cloak wants to deliver a message of comfort through your fingertips.
Kayaknya enggak deh, kita jangan pakai ini gak sih? Ya ketahuan banget kita polisi. Oh, nggak apa-apa ya?
This is the night watchman's booth. The name on the door reads, Rene Arnaud. Listen, it's okay to take a few minutes to yourself. Sit down and have a breather.
If you must. But please hurry. We are pretty easy to spot up here.
Nothing incriminating catches your eye. The cabinets are clean and their sparse contents meticulously organized. There's a framed photograph on the table. It's a black and white photo of a young couple out in a street fair. The man, Rene, is dressed in a Royal Carabinier uniform. The girl is young and very pretty. She's smiling playfully at the camera.
Oh,
Why did you take that picture of René? You're really interested in that old soldier. Not sure I understand your fascination, but sure, as long as it doesn't take up a whole lot of time.
eh?
This is the night watchman.
Kita kemana nih?
A rusting control panel with several knobs. Two buttons marked Marche and Arrête are faded with use. It seems to control the large crane above. A container is attached to its hook block. Marche. On. Arrête. Off.
Resting control panel self the button mark. Control the large crane above. Off.
Crane stands tall, proud, erect, and still.
Emang udah mati berarti. Aneh kita nih. Ini apa nih? Kayak enakan pakai stick kali ya? Ntar ya. Oke. Lari gimana? Kok otomatis lari?
Container, container, I'll turn you nice and red. Container, container, put the logos on.
The lyrics to this container song are being made up as he goes along. The accent is so thick, it's impossible not to notice he's Ubi, from the vanishing peninsula of Ubisund on Muwn.
Container, container, used to be Wild Pines. Container, container, now belongs to Everard.
Everett siapa? Yang unionnya ya?
Everard, 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 he looks after everyone. Huh? Well, hey there. How can I help you, mister? I see you are not a union man, mister. Get lost. You're not one of them scabs, are you? I mean, I don't personally mind. Folks is just folks, you know, and folks gotta eat.
Benar.
Just some of the other guys don't look too kindly on the scabbing kind, if you know what I mean, mister.
Di mana semua orang?
Most of the guys are down at the gates, keeping the scabs from coming in. We're on a strike. The whole union is. You don't have to work when you're on strike. Ha! We haven't worked for 2 months now.
So no one is working?
Not everyone is down there, of course. Mr. Everard is in his office, where he always is. And Jean-Luc is guarding the gate. But Titus and his boys got into some drunken trouble and Everard sent them on a nice vacation. For a week or so.
Halo Bang Muwn, wah, halo Pisudes. Tepat banget nih. Gue udah mau ketemu Everett. Everett tuh yang Claire Everett kan, si Union Man kan, bos Union. Ya sumpah, gue main ini harus ini emang santai sih, kayak main film. Jadi kayak film atau nggak kayak santai gitu mainnya, nggak bisa buru-buru emang. Jadi tadi gue habis sambil makan gitu.
Oh, I'm not really supposed to talk about that.
Kita sebenarnya udah mati tau, habis. Gara-gara pengen coba ngemukul si ininya. Lucu banget kemarin. Mukul si yang orang depan gede itu. Habis ini ketemu Everett Claire.
Him and his boy stirred up something in town. Probably
Sama
drank
dia
too
hati-hati
much
aja,
and
Bang.
got into
Oke.
a fight or something. I heard Mr. Everett telling him to take some time off. Sure, sure. How can I help you? Oh, you want Mr. Everett then? He's an awfully nice fellow, he is. Him and
Malah
his
sama-
brother are both nice fellows.
Sama gue
They've
juga
lived their
ngalah.
entire lives in this here neighborhood.
Tapi emang ada opsi lain ya cara ngelewatin dia tanpa kekerasan. Kan kekerasan atau enggak sih ini kan, kayak menerima ajaran dia kan.
Guys like Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar, his brother, are real good guys. Made Martinez what it is today. Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar and I went to the same school we did when we were boys. Oh, Mr. Everett is where he always is. In his office, of course.
Cuman gue belum nemu. Kayaknya ada opsi buat kayak, kan masa di bawah tuh kan banyak tuh. Sebenarnya kita kayaknya bisa langsung nyeruduk gitu deh, nggak tahu deh. Harusnya bisa nggak sih? Nih, waktu itu gue pengen gini, pengen apa ini gue harus menjadi rasis juga nih kayak dia, kayak gitu kan. Terus gue kayak ke bawah, kayak nanya si leader yang memberontak gitu. Terus kayak, coba lu ke atas dulu deh, ngemukul dia. Coba lu ke atas dulu deh ngemukul dia. Malam bang, malam anak mental. Coba lu ke atas dulu deh ngemukul dia. Kan lu belum coba juga kan. Nah pas dia omong gitu, gue langsung ke atas kan. Gue mukul dia kan, terus mati di situ. Terus lucu banget ada ini. Jadi kita tuh kayak malu banget gara-gara peristiwa itu kita berhenti jadi polisi. Terus kita gue lupa berhenti jadi polisi atau enggak, tapi pokoknya di berita ada tuh kayak kita jadi homeless gitu, jadi mabuk-mabukan gara-gara malu banget tuh gara-gara adegan itu. Nah gue nanya ke yang leader yang memberontak itu, gue kira dia bakal kayak ayo kita nyerang bareng-bareng yuk gitu. Atau enggak setelah gue mukul nggak bisa, gue ke bawah kayak gue nggak bisa nih gitu. Ternyata nggak, ini sih nggak ada opsinya sih. Maksudnya pas gue ke bawah lagi, kan gue save ulang kan, reload ulang kan, save-annya. Terus kayak pas gue ke atas lagi, pas gue ke bawah, disuruh naik lagi. Jadi harus, kayaknya kita dibodoh-bodohin aja deh sama orang itu. Jadi gitu. Jadi kita pilih jadi rasis aja deh. Kan kata si ini, temen kita, siapa ya? Itu tuh si orang gede yang demo, di bawahnya tuh punya sisi lain bang, tapi gak mau spoiler. Orang gede yang di bawah itu. Gue orang gede yang ini ya, yang oke. Emang itu spoiler. Gue tuh kemarin nanya-nanya banget juga sih dia, kayak dari mana kok dia kayak kayak bukan orang dari sini gitu. Gitu sih.
Oh, that one. That should be empty as far as I know. Lots of containers here have nothing in them. They're just waiting to be loaded up.
Kita juga udah ketemu si, gue lupa misinya. Oh, enggak, kita disuruh kita ketemu cewek di paling kiri tuh, cewek tua yang punya perahu. Nah, kita bisa nanya-nanya ke dia tuh, tapi kita harus ngasih tahu badge kita dulu tuh. BTW lu skill apa pilih bang? Ini. Oh bisa, nggak bisa, gimana caranya? Ini ya kan, skill ini ya? Ini. Yang ini belum nih. Oh iya, inget. Nah, kemungkinan ya badge kita tuh ada di itu apa? Badge kita tuh ada di berangkas kita yang kita pakai gitu. Tapi untuk dapetin itu gue harus ningkatin skill ini. Apa ya? Gue lupa. Pokoknya nggak bisa lagi gara-gara udah ke opsinya udah ke ini hilang. Tapi gue harus ningkatin satu skill supaya bisa ini lagi, cek lagi, skill cek lagi. Tadi pilih endurance ya bang? Yang yang orang gue ya? Orang gue yang iya ensiklopedia, iya yang pinter. Kita pinter tapi motoriknya jelek, terus ini kita jelek. Iya, kita yang orang tinker lihat tinker gitu. Yang meme itu. Kita tinker, the tinker. Awalnya kita pengen bikin karakter sendiri tapi jangan dah. Gue mainnya dulu Inland Empire yang ininya psyche-nya gede ya. Itu skillnya apa sih yang ungu? Kayak ini kan, kayak apa ya? Kayak ngebaca orang gitu, terus kayak apa, kayak gut feeling gitu. Gut feeling di sini bukan? Kayaknya yang enaknya ensiklopedia ini sih, kayak lebih susah dibohong-bohongin kali ya. Karena lu ada ensiklopedia gitu. Yang gak penting aja dijelasin apa itu.
Oh yes, born and raised in Irish, mister.
Apa ini? Nggak usah itu kali.
My dad after he got a bit violent took us here to the new world. I was about 10 then, too old to lose my accent then. People say us Ubis are up to all sorts of trouble with sheep and other animals and whatnot. I just want you to know there was
That feeling yang ungu itu
never
emang
any of
trait
that
perasaan.
from. No sir, those are just nasty rumors.
Thank you for clarifying that, sir.
Ya keluar
Bye
aja.
now.
Dia baik sih kayaknya. Efek kalau empati lu terlalu tinggi, lu bisa mati gara-gara kasih sama orang lain. Oh iya. Kok bisa terlalu tinggi? Empati kita tuh yang mana yang ini, psyche kita? Lucu amat itu. Oh ini dia. Oh udah gini aja. Ya kalau kita masukin 5 skill ke empati kalau nggak salah ya. Oh ini ada tangga.
Before you is a walrus of a man seated behind a large desk.
Sini bisa mati juga by the way. Oh my god. Gue udah save belum tadi? Udah sih harusnya. Coba bentar. Oh udah tuh, udah save tuh. Oke. Jangan spoiler ya teman-teman. Tapi masuk akal sih, berarti orang lu jadi, iya jadi kayak gak enakan, super gak enakan gitu. Dikit-dikit gak enakan, iya gak sih? Bukan gak enakan juga sih. Kayak terlalu berperasaan gitu. Jadi sedikit kayak dikit-dikit gak enakan. Terus ke orang lain kayak terlalu baik. Before his words.
With great effort, he
Kayaknya dia orang bodoh guys. Bodoh gak dia?
his chair, yet says nothing.
Gak boleh ngejudge gitu
He
kali.
simply stares at you.
Terus ya, yang gua kaget ya, Avisudes. Jadi kan kita waktu itu dikasih tahu kita itu sebenarnya polisinya kayak gimana gitu. Terus gua dikasih tahu gua tuh polisi yang sorry polisi gitu. Sorry polisi yang sorry gitu. Maksudnya gue minta maaf mulu gitu. Terus kayak wah jangan-jangan ini lu bisa tahu sifat pribadi asli lu gitu dari game ini, sifat lu yang asli gitu, bukan dunia nyata kan. Pasti lu kayak, terus gue pas yang itu sorry polisi, oh iya juga ya gitu. Sama gue dapat sorry cop itu. Gue kayak pas itu kayak mau, wah gila ini game kayaknya kayak apa ya, dalam banget sih. Dan kayak nggak tahu, kayaknya nggak ada game yang kayak gini lagi deh. Mungkin beda ya.
Welcome, Mr. Dubois, Mr. Kitsuragi. It's good of you two to stop by. Please.
Oh, political alignment lu.
I'm Everard Clare, head of the Debarders Union here in Martinez. I'd offer you my hand, but unfortunately my health prevents me from getting up. You understand?
He looks extremely comfortable. The tiny folded chair, on the other hand, looks like a torture device.
Hah? Oh. Maksudnya?
You go ahead, detective.
Whatever he has in store for you, it can't be good, he thinks. I'll do my best. Forget about that. What's with this Dubois stuff? You're getting some seriously bad vibes from that name.
Alien Empire itu kata orang halu ya, halu. Berdiri aja emang kenapa?
Please, Mr. Dubois, let us converse in a civilized manner, as equals. Take a seat. I insist.
It's nothing. Yes, that's probably right. It's nothing. Forget about it. Filter it out.
Excellent, Mr. Dubois. I can see that you're a reasonable man, and
Duduk aja nggak sih?
reasonable men can be of great use to one another.
Jujur ya.
So tell me, how can the head of the Debarders Union help a representative of the Revachol Citizens Militia today?
The chair you're sitting on has got to be
Anjir.
the most uncomfortable chair in the world. It's
Beneran ke siksa, coba?
your backside.
Oh, by the way, I heard you got a rather rude reception from a certain
Bangun gak sih?
Lawrence Gart. Some people have no manners. It pains me to say.
I heard you got a rather rude reception from a certain Lawrence Garte.
This
Siapa tuh?
should take care of that nonsense. It should be sufficient to cover your expenses for a few days and patch over your differences with a cafeteria manager. Go ahead, take it.
Jangan ngambil gak sih? Ini
That's 25 real.
suap
That's
gak sih
good
ini?
money. You need it.
Enggak, suap gak sih ini? Kita coba menjadi polisi baik nih.
Okay, okay. I respect a man with principles. No handouts then. Now, I'd like to set your mind at ease about one other matter. Your lost gun. Let me assure you,
Lah kok tahu dia?
Union people are on it as we speak. I've got my best hounds looking for that lost gun.
Udah tahu?
His slug-like lips move, but all you hear is an echo. Lost gun, lost gun, lost gun.
Oh shit.
The world is swallowed by a black hole of fear. Only two words escape its gravitational pull. Lost and gun. When he said, "Don't worry," he actually meant, "Be very worried."
Nih, si drama ini kadang-kadang nggak berguna anjir, tapi kadang-kadang bikin kita ini juga berpikir juga kan.
Are you all right, Harry? You say you got this, but you seem a little anxious to me. Don't be. Everything's going to be all right. It's not like you left it loaded. You didn't lose a loaded gun. Local children aren't out there playing with it right now, pointing it into their own mouths. It's in a safe place. I just know it. I have a feeling everything's going to be all right.
It was loaded. There were 2 bullets in it. You always keep at least 2 barrels loaded.
Coba nggak?
God, you're sweating. Your knee is jerking. You're about to cry, aren't you? You're about to cry because you lost your gun, and those children are going to shoot themselves with it.
Mr. Dubois, you don't look so good.
Panik anjir kita.
What is this, Mr. Dubois? He keeps repeating. What is he trying to pull here? You need to cool the fuck down. Chill.
Kocek bang serunya di situ bener sih.
Mr.
Kadang-kadang yang kecil.
Mr. Dubois, Harry. Mr. Dubois, are you okay? Can I get you a glass of water or something? Are you having some kind of medical emergency?
Maybe you could use your hands somehow, in a kind of throw-in motion, like you're throwing that Mr. Dubois act right back at him. He's Mr. Dubois.
Don't be dramatic. I can see your condition isn't terminal.
What an odd demonstration of... you got me, Harry. I don't even know what. As entertaining as it was, I'm afraid we're wasting our time. And I'm an extremely busy man, as I'm sure you are too.
Okay, enough. We are here to ask you some questions pertaining to a murder investigation.
Quick, here's your window. Get yourself together and ask him questions. Police officer questions.
I want to talk about the hanging. Hanging?
Oh, of course. That's your main thing here. That's why you're in Martinez. I know everything that goes on around here, and I would love to discuss it with you.
Okay.
I mean, it's no secret that the lynching is connected to the strike. So much to talk about. Honestly, it's been weighing on me so heavily. I understand you need to interview me. But there's a thing that's been keeping me up at night. I want to talk about the hanging. I mean, if we could just calmly talk, exchange information, we could blow this thing wide open.
Yes, that sounds good. Let's do that.
But I can't think straight with this thing weighing on me. You're police officers, aren't you? I have a crazy idea. You guys are basically door-opening machines, incredibly talented at opening doors. And I'm sure you're going to open this one with flying colors, Harry. This really is very simple, and there's nothing shady about it.
An excellent opportunity presents itself, sire.
Nggak, dia nggak menghargai nama kita.
Trust of the arch liar. Pretend to play into his hand.
Males sih.
Then, should you
Males sih gue.
bend his efforts towards your own.
Harry, I'm a very busy man, and more importantly, I don't have that extraordinary physique you do. You look like you could run around all day.
You want to send someone a message that the police are working for you.
Bagus Kim.
I repeat, I'm a very,
Bagus,
very
Kim.
busy man, Mr. Kitsuragi, and therefore
Cancel
I
aja nggak sih?
usually enlist outside help. So what will it be, Harry?
Iya cancel dulu nggak sih? Kan ini kayak service the test for now. Untuk saat ini ya kita review dulu nggak sih?
Of course, Harry, I understand. But if that's the case, I don't think we'll ever find your gun. Even worse, we won't be able to speak like equals about the murder. Perhaps this was just bad timing for you. Know that you can always come back to me. I really hope you do. For your sake, my sake.
Gue nggak
and for
peduli
your
senjata
gun's
gue,
sake
cuy.
too.
Yes, we both understand what you meant.
This may be the only way, he thinks. I won't hold it against you. In fact, we probably should
Yeah.
consider later.
You might have noticed there's one hanging on a tree behind the hostel cafeteria.
Oh my. Don't take this question personally, but why would I get involved in this matter?
Mr. Clare, the man was hanged with a cargo belt, a steel-reinforced cargo belt. It's safe to assume the Union had something to do with the murder. Besides, getting the body down would benefit all of us. It's a stain on the neighborhood.
You're a community leader, help the community out. Waduh. Ada
I can certainly see how having him up there might start affecting some real estate values. But of course, all joking aside, I am going to help you. Jean-Luc, my boy, I'm sending 2 police officers down. They have a dead body in a tree problem they need help with. Namely, they need it to be taken down. And, Jean, please take it easy with the race science. He's had enough of that. You can find Jean-Luc down at the gates, but you already knew that. Anyway, he's going to help you. Oh, that's very nice. I haven't gotten around to her yet. I'm very, very busy, you see. I hope you're getting along. One thing I want to make very clear, Harry, is that this is not some kind of union versus corporation situation. Everyone is just pals here. We're all trying to do what's best for Martinez here. Don't feel like you can't cooperate with her because you and I are such good friends and I'm helping you get that nasty body down from the tree. I'm not a jealous guy.
Waduh. Yang mana ya?
What do you mean, Harry? Nothing. I let him go. He's an old man, Harry. I wanted him to spend more
Ini
time
kita tahu
with
dari
his
mana?
family. God knows how long he's got left.
Oh, ditaruh. Oh, Kayaknya tahu dari bawah.
Harry, I have little people in my organization. I would never call someone a midget. What is this? Honestly, I'm beginning to think you're a midget, Harry. I'm only kidding, Harry. You're not a midget. No one is. We're pals. Vanished? Harry, the woman left her casserole in the oven and couldn't make it here in time for the voting. Oh, did I leave my casserole on? Better go home and check. The election can wait. When she got back, the whole thing was over.
Wait, there was no mention of a casserole from...
Bohong emang.
Harry. Do not fixate on this little matter. Maybe it was a rabbit stew, or a hairdryer, or an iron. The point
Yeah,
is,
paham.
the heart wasn't in it. Mine was.
This particular brand of humor he has, it makes for a fine distraction.
If she actually wants to see me, she will find a way. Any good negotiator would. And I just don't have anything to discuss with a bad negotiator. Yes. Low balling, of course. This isn't a casino, Harry. Real people, real livelihoods are at stake here. But everything's a casino for those rich types.
His expression makes it clear. This is childish and irresponsible behavior.
Of course, Harry. Let me just assure you one more time. It's perfectly okay to share anything we discuss here with this Joyce.
Okay.
This is a completely transparent organization. I have no interest in what she is doing, but I myself have nothing to hide. Your business is your business, and I respect your privacy. Just remember, none of this is secret. Tell her about all of it. My brother's picture, my singing swordfish clock. Tell her how overweight I am and how I'm helping you find your lost gun. Tell her about everything. Everard doesn't mind.
It is rather interesting to tell people things about each other, isn't it? It was nice telling him about her right now.
Okay.
Of course. Let us dispatch with the formalities. You call me Everard, I call you Harry. My God, so it's true. I didn't want to believe it, but you are a fantastic science fiction amnesiac cop, aren't you? What are the odds of that?
I think the odds of that are very low.
It might be a good idea to hide your confusion. I mean, see what his game is first.
So good to hear that, Harry. Apparently my sources were wrong. However, if you did have a spot of memory trouble, I could help you out. With my big fat folder.
Words flow like a river of honey from his lips. I guess word has already reached him. No matter. No harm done. It's just a brown folder. You can't make out what's written on it.
Are you trying to tell me you've gotten hold of some of our documents?
Mr. Kitsuragi, would you mind?
Lah kok dia bisa tahu nama dia?
Talking about his lost identity right now.
Don't just jump to the folder. That's not smart. Shows you're on the edge. Do some probing first.
Ah, this?
Dia punya mata-mata di... Oh iya juga sih.
Organization gave it to me, Harry.
This translates into, haha, you guys are so corrupt.
I find that very suspicious. May I have a look?
I'm afraid this is meant for union eyes only, Mr. Kitsuragi. I'm sure you understand. Please continue, Harry.
Ya kalau ada foldernya juga ya udah biarin nggak sih?
Of course, Harry, of course. Let's not linger on personal details and amnesia. You wanted something from me.
Aja.
Wait. You need this to get in and out through the gate. You're one of us now. A real red and white union man. Take care, Harry.
Mau ke siapa tadi kita? Bentar, gue penasaran kalau misal gue nyalain mesinnya gimana ya?
A rusting marsh. With a loud grind, the crane shifts overhead, moving a massive metal container through the air.
Gimana aja bang?
And, with a surprisingly quiet thunk, the crane places the container down. The harbor sleeps as the strike rages in the distance. The crane can rest again, now that its purpose has been fulfilled. Moving this container, of course. For this purpose it was built. For this purpose it has acted. And now it will rest.
I can't see how that was worth the wreckers, except for seeing the crowd. The meters.
Iya, iya juga sih. Ngapain dia? Iseng aja gitu. Kim Kitsun Ragi. Kim baik banget cuy.
The unpromising race pupil returned. So it was. My unpromising race pupil entered the harbor and used my superior to give me orders.
Ini masih Dewan ya bang? Iya masih Dewan.
I salute your cunning.
Lama banget ya?
Remove the body from the tree.
You're so noble, Measurehead.
Kita sekalian mau balik ke hotel ya. Siapa tahu ada orang union yang kita bisa tanya-tanyain.
There's a but.
But while I am gone, someone must
Sama terkenal
stand
lama.
guard
Oh gitu.
the bridge.
Oh,
That someone needs to be you. Both of you. Fine. Goodbye. Return to your degeneracy.
lah. Kenapa kita harus di sini? Maksudnya, iya sih. Tapi gue pengen lihat kali.
Babe, see that they stay here the whole time.
Ya gue pengen lihat. Ngomongin apa sekarang?
The woman's gaze follows Measurehead as he leaves.
So, you guys are like cops or something? Cool, I like men with
Biar
guns
bisa
and
nurun mayatnya.
power.
Iya,
I'm
kenapa?
By the way.
Kan ini ada orang-orang lain nih. Maksud gue pengen lihat. Jangan-jangan dia bohong lagi. Bukan bohong sih, maksudnya ada yang kayak ada yang dirusak gitu sama dia.
You hear that? That sound. He's breaking something.
Yeah, Jean-Luc must be really tearing it up over there. I wish I could see it.
Look at you! RCM rent-a-cops! Guarding that bridge like Everett's lapdogs! Is this where it's at now? The RCM is for
Siapa
sale!
tahu ya.
And who are you? What is your business here? Why are your clothes 4 sizes too small for you?
Itu dulu saya tuh.
A shrill laughter interrupts you, echoing across Martinez. It's Kuno. Then, the man turns to look behind him at the behemoth appearing around the corner, approaching him, walking past him.
Uy. Hikmah banget tuh.
The corpse has been removed from the tree. Stand down and congratulate yourself. You have sided with Ray's victory today. And what you had to do was to become a Union man for all to see.
Bodo amat, gue gak mau lama-lama sama dia. Lihat dulu, kemarin gue lupa save. Lama banget, gue harus ngulangnya. Coba gue nanya si orang yang bawa ini lagi kali. Klarifikasi.
Right to...
Oh nggak ada.
The corpse lies on the ground among the remains of an absolutely demolished pinewood branch. It's gently laid on one side.
Mr. Measurehead has done a good job. Nothing is too broken or compromised. The victim is ready for a field autopsy. Yes. 1. Investigation of the scene. 2. Initial examination of the victim. 3. Field autopsy. 4. Transportation of the body to the morgue. We are on number 3.
Sik, udah siap di autopsi tuh.
The RCM's 4-phase murder scene processing manual.
The fuck are they on about?
Ini ngeselin banget nih anak ini.
Cop's gonna cut his shit up.
Dengan panjang nih bang bagian ini.
No, you and I are detectives. The honorary rank of detective signifies our ability to handle the entire incident chain. From autopsy to cleanup, to social work, everything.
Honorary rank, maksudnya dari nomor 1 Kuno.
An honor and a burden attached to your rank once you've proven yourself able. Usually after 5 to 8 years of field work.
Widih,
Mine is lieutenant detective. You are. Your station would not have assigned you on this case if you weren't. Now,
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Coba aja.
I'm gone. I'm a joke. Look at me. A killer.
Hah?
A motherfucker. And a killer. Go ahead, Cobo. What do you mean? It's the power of your imagination. Go ahead. Ask me more questions. You fucking love questions. Do I remind you of someone? A child born with Muller's disease, harlequinism, grown up miraculously.
You sure I got out of that one? Coppellini. Come back later, Coppo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible, also, see me in your dreams.
Come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy is. You've done 100 of them.
Bentar.
What you do know is, at 18.9 kilometers, the dormant shield volcano, Corpus Mundi, is the world's highest summit, and the failure of the 38 single, Et puis descend, to crack the top 20 was the death knell of disco. But what a field autopsy is, you have no idea.
Emang tahu.
There truly is a time for everything, even for yellow gardening gloves. However, they are lacking hygienically. I suggest you get in there in limited capacity. I'll ask you when I need you to. For the most part, maybe I should handle the contact and you take notes? That's right.
Yeah, we
Kayaknya gue bisa nambahin skill.
smart.
Oh iya cuy. Nambahin apa deh? Iya, yang gue harus ini yang mana? Udah dapat ledger ya bang? Iya udah. Interfacing. Itu aja ya. Interfacing itu yang mana? Oh ini. Ini aja.
The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists, describing the condition of his skin and organs in 3 parts. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first. It begins with,
That's you.
the corpse is indifferent to your scribblings, just lies there. The next box says,
KK57. Next? NA. NA. Roughly 50.
dry 40. The damage is so extensive, it's better to err on the young side. He nods.
Mondial. Subgroup Occidental. As per your observation.
The pudgy mess looks neither mondial nor occidental. It doesn't even look human. The next line says, as you read it, you think, that leaves out dark-haired Mesk, Sal, Sarah Mauritian, Kedratic. Lighter-skinned Occidental means this man could be Vespertine, Oranese, Messinian. Those 3 are on the table. A solid guess, Mr. Racial Profiler.
Fucky!
Male.
Pigs can have sex.
Nor does he look male, with his pregnant belly and indistinguishable face.
We're still going with March 4th. 51. What else? 9. Body identified by is non-applicable. 10. Case number is the same as the coroner's case.
KK 57 0503 0815 listens motionless, with the cargo belt still around his neck. Only one box remains.
None. At least not after the initial examination. Interfering with the body's position or wounds post-mortem. They'd have to have incapacitated and carried him over. This man was more than a match for untrained dogwalkers.
Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture. It's the stations of the breath. Ecclesiastic, religious in nature, a holdout from pre-DeLorean burial rites. It takes him 2 seconds to perform. Then...
We should start the post-mortem.
The corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. A thicket of boxes and lists on red copier paper tries to answer why.
Cannot feel.
I'm afraid we can't continue before we've gone through both the external and internal examination first.
Oh.
Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Babrodin, I think. Let's see.
See, it's happening.
Babrodin, yes. Inexpensive. Size M. Color white.
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was expecting something more lurid.
The boots are ceramic, vitreous enamel. They are fused to his skin from blood flowing downward post-mortem. Removal of the boots is left for processing. The boot has a serial number. It's E50.100.100. The lines between the plates are in the shape of the alphanumerical. The number is purposefully concealed by the design. Tattoos. The upper torso is covered in a single, continuous tattoo resembling a microelectronical circuit board. It reaches from the right shoulder to the heart. The ink is blue and white. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings, to be added to the case files as document A1. The photo is taken on the scene, using a Trigat Mini. The deceased has a belt for airlifting cargo around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot. Color yellow. Length 3 meters. There is a buckle on the other end. Well-nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters. Generally consistent with age 42. Preservation is good. Ambient temperature below freezing. Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short. Lividity is consistent with hanging. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest, and thighs, consistent with stones thrown post-mortem. Low velocity.
Fucking low velocity? You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was fucking max.
Berisik Kuno, berisik.
About Kuno's velocity.
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest, consistent with predation. Ligature mark. The steel wiring. There's too much of it. We need to remove the belt so we can get to the ligature mark.
You got just the right tool for that. The chain cutters.
Always good to think ahead. Now, we need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark below. Carefully, with as much precision as you can.
See, my pig is gonna fuck his head off.
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
Waduh.
The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck, swelling over the edges like white bread rising from the east. The knot is the weak spot. The chain cutters fit in there, steady now, like a flower arranger. 2 cuts and it should come loose.
Beltnya pakai motong di mobil Kimbang. Iya, ini udah ada di kita. Bismillah.
After some
Alhamdulillah.
preparation, you sink the cutters into the knot tied
Waktu itu ya,
together. You squeeze the
yang
rubber handle
kita kan disuruh nembak ya, nembak.
forward on your brow.
itu lucu banget lagi. Kita suruh nembak beltnya kan yang sebelum-sebelumnya banget ya, disuruh nembak beltnya gitu. Terus pertama kita nyuruh Kim meleset kan, terus kita dengan PD-nya kita bawa ambil, kita keker, terus meleset juga kan, terus yang parah kita nembak badan gitu, terus diketawain si Kuno kan, pas diketawain kita moral kita turun banget tuh, hampir aja kita meninggal gara-gara low moral. Itu lucu banget sih menurut gua, udah sekali terus disuruh nyoba lagi kan, udah janganlah, takut malu lagi gitu. Itu lucu sih menurut gua.
Snap. The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing the dead man's neck and the dark red ligature mark around it.
The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck. Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from 1 or 1.5 meters. Chest is intact, normal contour, abdomen is protuberant, pelvis intact, genitalia...
No! It's gonna happen, see!
I fucking knew it!
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury. Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact, but asymmetrical. There are combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip. In addition, I see smaller, residual scars, too numerous to count, covering about 30% of his skin.
From wounds sustained over 2, maybe more decades, dispersal and accumulation indicates long and active combat duty.
We have a real museum here. Of battles, wars. Last item, hands. Hands are clean. No sign of a recent struggle. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Honestly, the stench is making it hard for me to think at the moment. Ooh. That's all for the external. Well done. What next? Central nervous system.
Internal. Gimana ngeceknya?
This man's central nervous system?
Of course, there is a moral to be drawn from it. A moral to this story.
Nggak ada.
Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury related. Eyes and tongue protuberant. Hyoid bone. Let's see.
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat and begins to massage it, gently. A rotting smell erupts from the mouth. Purge fluid runs down his lips, black and viscous. You hear cracks as the lieutenant moves his sharp fingers inside the flesh, like the creaking of an old house at night.
Yeah, jack that fucker off!
The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact. Unremarkable. Respiratory system. Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen. Hemorrhaging present in mucosa of the lips and mouth.
No scream, no sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside. It's humid there. Sickly.
Hepatobiliary. NA. Are you a hepatobiliary expert?
Hepato means liver, and biliary, the gallbladder and bile ducts.
Same for toxicology and serology. NA. Cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood has gathered in the hands, feet, and neck. Hypostasis is visually consistent with the hanging. Gastrointestinal.
This will do.
Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila.
Omit.
What's next on the list? Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 fields. Leave a 4th one too.
Be thorough if you want maximum results.
Head, chest, and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused damage to the body. Odontologist does not need to be consulted. And your opinion, officer?
Apa sih?
Agreed. Next injury?
Postmortem itu setelah dia meninggal kan berarti ya? Ininya. Lukanya.
So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. The perpetrator on the scene has confessed to causing it post-mortem.
At maximum velocity, fucko!
Setelah dia
Has
mati.
confessed to causing it at maximum velocity.
Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man. Beneath, the description of injury. 2 boxes.
Right. Next. Nothing. Just in case. A dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. The hyoid bone is fractured, the cervical column intact. I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. Depth of the mark, 1 centimeter. No signs of clawing on the neck.
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side. The ring around his neck is visible. Think for a moment. There's time. Don't rush.
Kok sama I see him raging on the skin above and below ligature mark depth. One setting pertunasan of going on the neck. Itu fatal nggak sih? Udah create upgraded ligature answer to neck with a
That's it. We have established cause of death. It's not much, and it leaves much to be questioned. But it's a start.
Soalnya gimana?
I pronounce this field autopsy over. I need a copy of that autopsy form. Then I will drive him to Faubourg for processing.
You tilt your head, also looking at the corpse. I'm sure we didn't get everything. There's always something.
Kalau gagal di game ini tuh seru. Iya sih, ada save juga.
Your arm reaches out and your eyes close, as if by their own volition. It's dark all around. You feel cold, dead flesh through the latex glove. It's right under the palm of your hand.
Oh my god, berhasil lo legendary. Tadi berapa persen doang lagi?
His cheeks, his nose, his fat, swollen lips. Like a rubber spider, your gloved hand crawls on his features. Everything is silent, all around. They are swollen shut. You need to really push to get in. You're not far. It'll come to you. Keep crawling.
Bisa, kita megang-megangin aja nih.
The oral cavity is cold and moist. A ball-like tongue attaches itself to the base of the mouth, lolling around like a scallop.
Mainin ya.
A vision of black and dark red death pried open by your hands, studded with teeth. Looks like he's laughing. Death fumes rising from his throat. And there, in the back of his mouth, above the bell of the uvula, right in the soft palate,
Apa tuh?
you see a hole, barely visible to the human eye. It is swollen shut, almost vanished. No larger than 0.4 centimeters in radius. The edges appear darkened. An abrasion collar. This is what we're after.
Anjay.
Abrasion collar.
Ketemu anjir.
Kuno is silent. A black trickle of liquid runs into his throat from the wound. Your index fits right in there. A tight tunnel of flesh opens up. Tissue damage. Wide enough for 2 fingers. As you push both in, you reach through his mouth, right into his brainstem.
Buset.
The fuck is happening?
Iya bener.
Shit, see?
Yes, that's what this part is called. The basal ganglia feels clumpy. What entered here has torn apart his reptilian complex. This man will never sleep again. Never wake. Your yellow fingers slide into the limbic system. There is no resistance. It's gelatinous. The slug-like structures are damaged too. The tearing extends deep into both hemispheres. This is what he used to regulate his emotions with.
Wah, ada bolongan. Ada.
The lieutenant answers with the sound of his pen on paper.
So tahu anjir kita.
Fucking cavity, see?
Your fingers are all the way in now, reaching toward the inside of his skull. The cavity goes further, but the entry wound isn't wide enough for the rest of your hand to follow. Your fingers reach toward his skull. His cerebral cortex feels like jelly. Cold jelly. Strange fluid streams down your wrist as you push deeper until you feel it on the tip of your finger. Ice cold serrated metal. Its edges cut right through the latex and into your finger.
Wih, gila. Ada sesuatu, ada besi. Peluru kali. Yes. Gila, jago banget kita.
You pick the object between your index and middle finger. It feels sharp, like metal. With your face twisting from pain and concentration, all you need to do is just...
My pig's fucking got it.
Berisik anjir. Mantap bang.
The inside.
Wah, ini random banget nih. Abis ini sial banget nih.
Like a glove.
Abis ini sial banget nih. Ini terlalu hoki nih.
Careful not to lose the prize between your with a plop. Your hand emerges from the mouth. The garden glove is covered in blood right up to the wrist. Between your fingers, a small flower, a blossom made of lead.
Fucking beautiful.
A bullet.
Gila cuy.
The bullet falls in the bag.
Masuk mulut, masuk ke otak.
Blood.
Terus ngambil.
Erases the bag under his.
Ya udah mati juga sih ya. Udah meninggal juga sih.
A non-caliber rifle, some kind of brittle alloy, fractured on impact.
Disimpan coba.
No, you deserve it. We can log it later.
Oh, okay.
We need to add an item to the injury list. Injury number 4. Overland
Tembak ya?
wound with an abrasion collar.
Iya ditembak.
Soft palate.
Dari mulut, ditembak dari mulut ya?
High velocity. Temporary cavity in brain tissue. Small exit wound on the occiput. How does that sound? Opinion, fatal injury.
Goddamn right.
And one last thing. We should amend injury number 3. Ligament mark. New opinion, non-fatal. Post-mortem. Treatment.
He's proposing the bullet was the real cause of death, and the hanging to conceal this fact.
Treatment, officer, is an attempt to manipulate the body after death, to hide the real cause with a false cause. This injury here. Yes, and the belt around his neck, the hanging, even dragging him to the yard. All of it was done after this man was already dead. I have had my doubts since you showed me the tracks. Why did they carry him over? Why not march him, I thought. There was no satisfying explanation. There have been other signs too. Small details. Everything is too neatly designed for us to assign probable cause here, as we did, full-heartedly. Well...
There is, of course, the very real possibility he was both shot and...
Ya, mungkin. Tapi ngapain ya? Iya bener. Udah digantung, kenapa ditembak lagi?
That's for us to find out. But this, it will make finding them just a little easier.
Mungkin ya.
To put him out of his misery? It's possible, but it doesn't explain all the other dubious things here. Lack of struggle.
Bisa jadi dia bunuh diri.
I may be intellectually
Nggak, maksudnya...
but I prefer one theory at a time. And this just smacks of treatment to me.
Kalau misalnya to put him out of misery ya, bisa jadi dia sendiri gitu yang ngelakuin. Digantung nggak bisa kayak... Tapi kayaknya nggak bisa ngapa-ngapain lagi kalau digantung.
To hide something. The real killer, the real motivation, what really happened here. Yes, we should take a closer look at it. I am certain it has more to tell us.
This little thing could reveal much about the weapon that shot it.
We put him in a bag and carry him to the holding pen.
Kita bersih-bersih diri dulu ya. Next story Bang Muwn.
Should contain the odor for the duration of the transport. I would drive him to processing, but it's too late to do that today. I'll do it first thing tomorrow. No problem. One more thing. This was really good work, detective.
Gila, gue juga proud sih sama diri gue sendiri.
Shoot, loony Rooney.
Udah nggak usah.
Come back later, Corporal. Amuse yourself.
All right. I will need a little help carrying him. You take the hands, I'll take the legs.
Nice. Kita tidur di mana ya? Gue nggak tahu sih. Nah di sini ada orang baru nggak? Oh ini ada orang baru.
Can I help you?
Bentar, yang ini nih, skill yang ini. Tapi harus bayar tiap malam. Nggak usah bayar lah ya. Orang kita polisi ya.
The bullet is safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp. Kim, the squashed bullet, has some sharp edges where the jacket has split open. It feels cold, even through the bag. You wouldn't ordinarily have cause to handle jacketed bullets. The citizens' militia uses cast bullets only. Little pebbles of metal loaded from the muzzle, usually in a cartridge.
What? Well, if I was the bullet, I would say find the weapon that shot me. If we find who owns it, we will have likely found who used it, possibly to kill our victim.
Gimana cara taunya? Anjir.
The more we know about this bullet of yours, the better.
The jacket of the bullet is made of a yellowish metal. It has blossomed out to reveal a dark grey core. The base of the bullet is close to 5 millimeters in diameter. It's quite destroyed. Some of the fragments are still lodged in the wound. You can just about make out a few striations near the base of the bullet. Little hairlines, linear. It feels standard.
What can you say about the bullet so far? A jacketed bullet. Okay. It would have been shot from a military-grade breech-loading rifle, not from a muzzleloader like those typically found on the streets of Martinez.
Highly unusual. The people of Revachol haven't carried breech-loading weapons like this for nearly half a century.
Even the RCM uses ordinary unjacketed conical bullets. This is strange. Very strange. I like this, officer. Strange means unique. Unique means incriminating. We need to find the gun that shot it.
Okay.
You can't remember what
udah
happened.
nggak oke lagi nih.
What makes you think you're going to remember arcane firearms?
Berisik nih. Apa benda nih? Halo, Fadla nih bisa ngechat. Asrene buat the foto. Rene itu yang mana ya?
Can I help you?
Iya Rene itu yang mana ya? Gue lupa. Oh ini Rene Arnoux. Rene Arnoux itu yang mana? Gue gak ada map sih. Google aja kali. Lah, kok pembalap sih? Pembalap anjir. Samping bangku dekat mobil Kim. Bapak-bapak. Oh emang iya. Iya, gue udah ngomong sama dia. Kan ada bapak tua 2. Emang masih main kali dia malam-malam. Enggak tuh. Ada lagi sih. Nah, malam-malam kita bisa ngapain? Kita belajar skill lagi kali. Gue mau ini sih. Half-Life itu apa? Half-Life itu kayak intimidasi bukan? Atau body take control threaten people, ya intimidasi. Kita nggak usah sih, kita kan the thinker, kita ngapain pakai itu? Tidur dulu di hotel. Oke. Yang lainnya soalnya jelek, kayak ini kita perlu, ini doang yang kita nggak perlu. Nggak bisa. Oh, unlock new slot dulu. Oke, paham game. Nah, sekarang kita bisa ngapain? Coba kita lihat skill kita deh. Nah, in the mess hall of the Willing Legs, they are not here today but mostly let them show up, keep an eye out on them. Oke, nah itu kapan tuh? Katanya malam nggak mau nyoba Persona Muwn. Mau sih, tapi banyak game yang RPG yang kita mainin tahu sebenarnya. Kemarin aja Final Fantasy belum habis. Terus gak tau deh, Persona mau. Ini ya Gathering Hall ini ya. Banyak banget game cuy. Ini membernya datang BD 2 bang, oh gitu. Katanya kita bisa nyanyi ya. Nah, sekarang kita bisa ngapain? Coba kita baca dulu misi kita. Random number. Ini besok aja. Nggak usah, ini nggak usah. Ini coba kita bisa ngecek ini kita nggak? Ngebuka mana ledger kita? Nih. Tapi harus cari kayak kaset lagu dulu. Sekarang udah tinggi nih. Bisa dilakukan besok. Nggak semuanya harus sekarang. Iya, gua nggak mau tidur dulu soalnya. Gua mau cari hal yang bisa dilakuin sekarang. In the plastic on your knee slowly.
Slides snap back into place. It should be possible to just,
Hit someone and then want to. Kartu dia sih, kartu badge dia sih.
Resistance or sound, the two panels move against each other. The compartment is now open. 2 ticket stubs and a handmade
Oh, nggak ada.
postcard. Thin wax paper has been glued to a piece of cardboard. Sounds like leaves rustling when you pick it up. You see violet flowers, floral patterns, patches of glue. Familiar handwriting lines the inside of the card. Looped.
Oh, siapa nih?
And
Siapa
a young
nih?
woman in her 20s.
Siapa nih?
There is care, effort, and a smile. You think. Although that is not something you can read from someone's handwriting. Harry, it begins. You're already reading. I wanted to write you a letter so you can read it when you wake up. Maybe it will make you happy.
Oh my god. Satu sisi gue pengen baca, satu sisi gue juga nggak pengen baca. Tapi gimana? Maksudnya apakah akan apa gitu kalau kita tahu masa lalu kita? Efeknya apa? Kita jadi nggak semangat kali ya? Maksudnya jadi kayak apa ya? Mungkin kita di masa lalu tuh ada kayak semacam rasa bersalah gitu karena kita bohong atau nggak kayak misi kita nggak selesai gitu. Dan kita nggak mau nginget masa lalu kita karena membuat kita merasa bersalah gitu dan gak fokus ke misi kita yang sekarang gitu, malah mikirin masa lalu terus gitu. Tapi bodo amat lah, game doang ya.
Your hand shakes, holding the card. Every morning when I step out and you're asleep behind me, it says, I find a little piece of sadness in me. I carry it in my chest, down Voyager Road.
Your hand shakes, holding the card every morning when I step out and you're sleep behind me. It says, I find a little piece of sadness in me. I carry it in my chest, down Voyager Road.
Every step I take, it grows. By the time I reach the fuel station, it has filled me entirely. I step onto the light rail and look back. Sparks fall from the bow collector. I know it will be like this until late afternoon, when I get off the 42 and walk back to you.
Jangan-jangan kita ngebunuh dia lagi.
You. Every step I take will get lighter. It almost makes me run. Sometimes I do. I can't believe I met you. I can't believe the happiness I feel with you. You have a vast, vast soul, and I will always, always, always come back to it. Kisses, kisses, kisses. You feel the air sucked out of your lungs and the blood sucked out of your head. Everything around you gets dark. Small white dots appear. Sparks fall like snow from the bow collector, a streetcar distancing. You feel the ledger slip from your hand.
Wah, kenapa nih?
No, hold on.
Oh my god. Salah kah kita?
To what? There's nothing.
Detective, is everything all right?
Apa nih?
There is nothing. Again.
Lah, ulang dari awal.
No treachery, just blackout. Well, almost. That's me. Blue eyes, that's me. Who was what?
He speaks of the sickening longing, the unwell emotion. Even in the darkness, he's grasping for it. Still trying to hold on.
The call when you're dead, brother.
Here in the paleo-mammalian cortex, we call it the shadow. Because it's always there.
Tell him.
Ah, yes. In the olfactory system, they call it the apricot chewing gum scented one. It's unhealthy of them to linger on it so. But as they say, what do you do? It didn't smell nice. It smelled like betrayal.
Emang nama gue beneran Harry ya?
There is no Voyager Road. There are no roads, no houses, no lights in the windows. It's all on pause. Bloated corpse of the past resurfacing. Don't prod at it. It will start moving again. Your name is fuck all. It certainly ain't Harry. Your name is passed out on the ground, dragged around by one of the other evil apes. They're taking you somewhere. Yeah, man. What was that about? You think they would let you? Until you disintegrate into biomolecules? No. Someone is breathing on your face now, inspecting your pupils, stupid idiot. Yes, they're pouring something on you. It's in you. And
It's delicious. Glowing lights on a dashboard emerge out of nothingness. In the upholstered cabin of Lieutenant Kitsuragi's motor carriage, seated in the driver's basket, the air is thick with leatherworks and heavy fuel oil. Cold water runs down your chin.
Drink. Water.
The water is cold, silvery, the stuff of life itself, as it pours down your parched throat. The pounding in your head recedes. The darkness parts.
Drink. You haven't drunk water in 2 days. Did you know the human body is not made to survive on alcohol alone? You need a secondary form of hydration.
With greedy gulps, you down half a liter of cold water. Some of it spills on the driver's seat. The lieutenant pays no heed to it.
What happened?
Ya ini logikanya ini sih. Kita jujur aja kali dia baik dari kita sama kita.
That does sometimes happen.
Itu kan ledger of failure dan hatred.
He replies with such understanding, it's as if the burnt-out ruins of the past were an occupational hazard. Athlete's foot for cops.
Ya.
You drive.
Yeah.
Are you okay to proceed? Good.
The Ledger of Failure and Hatred is a special item that can be used both as an interactable and a tool equipped in your held slot for skill bonuses.
Anjay.
Find it under the Tools tab in your inventory.
Mana? Oh ini. Anjay.
It's the ledger you own, and the cool piece of toilet paper is stuck to the back.
Tadi apa lagi? Ada yang di sini ada apa lagi?
The two panels move against each other. The compartment, two octopuses are smiling, reaching their tentacles toward each other in the colored pencil drawings. The tickets permit access to the zoo in Revachol East. The aquarium costs extra. These let you go there.
Pesan aja keren bang.
It's slightly, ever so slightly, difficult
Tapi
to breathe once you've done so.
Iya benar berarti
The
tadi
drawers locked.
prediksi gua.
Blue ink drips from the white pages in your hand. The acidic stench, you know, like the bits they put into public piss bowls, probably called Fermi discrete. Your nose does not understand what it did wrong.
Tadi ada skill juga. Tadi apa skill yang baru? Little guy gets further and further away. Hell on earth, hell on earth. Ini ada ininya. You see yourself from above. You pass out on the blue tiles of the hostel room floor. Great wet object, letting out its smell. Like a lily of a valley. Keren sih, bisa jadi senjata, bisa jadi alat gitu juga. Tapi otoritas sih harus banget gak sih authority. Intimidate the public, assert yourself. Ada namain authority sih. Oh, jangan-jangan tips saja ya sih, seenggaknya masukin 1 poin ke authority. Jangan lupa sering Kenapa tuh? Ini kita udah minus lagi. Karena banyak banget kayaknya yang pakai skill yang harus dipakai authority. Ini untuk authority, ini authority, ini authority. Iya. Stuck di TG gara-gara gue gak ada skill di authority. Wah, seriusan? Masa bisa di soft lock gitu? Itu ada cara lain gak? Atau harus... Lah kalau gitu gimana? Lah masa bisa soft lock sih? Mungkin ada cara lain kali. Siapa lagi yang kita bisa pakai? Bisa kita kerjain, bisa kita pakai. Who put the clothes? Joyce info. Oh, ini kita belum ada nih, gara-gara nggak ada kartu kita. Oke deh, udah nih, udah nggak ada apa-apa lagi yang bisa kita lakukan sih. Gue kena softlock, tapi teman-teman gue bilang sebenarnya nggak perlu. Oh gitu. Nah iya, game kayak gini harusnya nggak bisa ke softlock nggak sih? Maksudnya diberi kebebasan penuh gitu harusnya. Kalau bisa berarti iya, maksudnya nggak ada hal yang kayak harusnya nggak ada hal kayak, maksudnya nggak ada skill check gitu. Maksudnya apa sih? Pokoknya nggak ada, untuk berprogres itu nggak ada yang lewat skill check gitu. Skill check tuh kayak opsi gitu. Semuanya kalau lu nggak skill check sama sekali sebenarnya bisa aja gitu sampai tamat game. Bug di gua aja sih, bener juga sih. Itu yang amannya sih. Oke, kayaknya tidur aja deh kita, soalnya nggak bisa ngapa-ngapain lagi nih. Ini nggak bisa, ini nggak bisa. Ini nggak bisa, ini bisa sih tapi nggak perlu itu. Ini nggak ini ya ini nggak bisa sekarang. 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 Ini nih. Visit ini kapan? Itu kapan? Itu kapan cuy? Hari ini atau besok ya? Kayak besok dah. Atau hari ini ya? Sekarang aja deh. Mumpung lagi bisa kan. Oh iya, kita kerjain yang bisa dulu gak sih? Sayang. Aduh iya. Atas belakang kan bisa nih. Sebenarnya nggak perlu deh kayaknya, tapi kayak ini aja sih, silaturahmi ya. Kemana nih? Nih, ini bukan. Ini nyala lampu. Assalamualaikum.
Is made of metal and appears no one answers.
Ini nyala cuy.
Tomorrow at 9 p.m.
No one answers.
We should return tomorrow.
No one.
We should return.
No one.
We should return tomorrow.
No one.
We should return tomorrow.
Ini nyala anjir. Ya besok berarti. Ya udahlah. Iya besok. Gue lupa sih kapan. Di missionnya nggak ada tulisan tomorrow atau apa gitu. Jadi sudah. Gue lihat, oh ya tadi gue main ngomong, gue lihat di YouTube ternyata bisa mukul si Kuno ya. Bonding sama Kim gimana caranya? Nanya-nanya aja. Emang bisa. Kita bisa keberatan, coba tidak diatur aja dulu. Kita bisa keberatan gak sih kita bawa barang-barang? Oh, bisa masuk? Terus bayar dulu. Bayar kamar, gue gak ada duit tapi.
Can I help you? Yes, have you got it? A lot. A lot. For the room, drinks, and a lot. Yes. Another thing. Great. I love those. Yes.
Bisa.
You should totally sing karaoke here, the first chance you get. Your emotions need to be expressed. People need to know your vast oceanic soul. Of course, like a small animal that only comes out at night. All it needs is
Becek dari Efran. Iya nggak ambil gue. Suap itu uang suap, nggak mau gue.
a PA system by other people.
Tidak mau Kim, kayaknya bisa deh.
You should sing the sad small church song from that tape you found. Thought it was obvious. No, don't sing the happy song. It's stupid. Sing the sad song. It's profound. You would need another copy of the tape first, though. The one upstairs is destroyed.
Anjir, beneran bisa nyanyi cuy. Ngapain? Nggak usah kali. Malu-maluin diri kita sendiri. Ntar, gue pengen nanya orang-orang dulu deh. Bisa ada opsi lain nggak?
Who's sweetie? Her eyes move up and down your person as though taking your measurements. Her
Why, you are, officer. You're a handsome man, officer, with your mustache and your chiseled
Cryptozoologist tuh
jaw
kayak
and that silly dimple on your chin. Love can be cruel. You must forgive me. I'm getting so scatterbrained. I completely forgot to introduce myself. I'm Lena. My husband Morel and I are staying with our friend Gary just down the street, but I come here for tea when they're away.
This Lena is wacky enough for the motley crew. Hire her on the spot.
Ada yang tidak lebih.
Whatever do you mean? Sequence killers? Oh my. But I think you already have a partner, sweetie.
A partner who needs you to get back to helping the people of Martinez.
Game of course I forget I had you.
Yes, and it seems to me that you need to stick close to him. He has the look of an upstanding officer of the law, someone you can lean on, and, sweetie, you are looking unsteady. And even if he weren't there, I don't think you'd have much use for me. I really would like to help out, but I don't want... Yes, officer. You look rather dazed.
Bisa
Like a
dilihat ini.
stung fox. But surely things can't be that bad. Oh my. You know where we are, right?
Jual barang iya dari mana? Dia di mana? Oh, gua tahu di mana. Iya, iya.
Now, we are live in a hostel called the Whirling in Rags, and the Whirling itself is in the city of Revachol. Yes, and Revachol? How would I even begin to tell you? I haven't seen very many other cities personally, but everyone says so. Revachol is a rare jewel. Speaking of history, you know what year it is. That's right, dear. How splendid. Here, take this pen. Knowledge should always be rewarded.
Her relief is palpable. She was getting pretty worried about you there, but now she relaxes her shoulders.
I can tell that this is taxing for you, so I'll just ask one more question. What regime are we living under? What mode of government? Nope. Sadly not. Revachol is what's called a zone of control, under an alliance of foreign powers called the Coalition. We have no government of our own, and what democracy we have is market-driven.
Meaning, buying is voting.
It is quite disappointing, yes. A lot of people would like some form of representation. There's talk, but for now, the RCM is all we've got. Oh dear. And you were doing so well. There aren't any cops in Revachol, not in the traditional sense. The status of law enforcement has been a complicated matter since the revolution. But we should stop for today, sweetie. You look like you need a break. Besides, I'm not the best person to explain the big things to anyone.
She's scared now. She's realized you really are brain damaged.
Someone more educated in sweeping matters. Maybe you should ask.
No. I'm not an encyclopedia. I won't be a guide either. I'm a detective.
Of course. Then I don't know. Someone rich, maybe? Wealthy people are educated. Though I don't know where you would find a wealthy person in Martinez.
That's a good point. This doesn't look like Rich Central.
Oh, sweetie, I heard your conversation with the manager about your financial troubles. When do you get your next paycheck?
You must be joking. Although our pay does sometimes feel like a joke.
It's not easy to assert your right to a decent living wage when you don't have a strong union behind you. Maybe you should talk to Everard, the union leader.
Try to force a tear out of your duct. Really rip into the whole emotional aggression thing.
Officer.
Sweetie, I'm sorry, but I think you need more help than I can give you. Oh, no, I'm so sorry. I don't have money for you. If there's anything else I can do, of course, dear.
Kita loakin aja semua ya. Tuh guys, jangan ngelawan orang tua ya guys. Gue belum pernah masuk ke tempat loak ini sih. Masuknya tapi lihat mana. You can sleep after apa tadi? Oh ini orang ini.
It's not often that I see officers from the RCM in my... What can I do for you?
His courtesy is not insincere, but he prefers being alone with his projector, just watching the movement of light across the walls of the shop.
Oh no, not at all. I guess I haven't had many customers lately, RCM or otherwise.
Who are your customers usually?
All kinds of people come through here. Locals, travellers, people looking for a deal, people looking for a keepsake, people who are terminally bored. As you can see, I have a wide selection of goods for everyone to choose from. It keeps me entertained.
Do you have any guns like the one carried?
Let me have a look. Anything else you're thinking of selling?
Jangan dikasih itu. Ini aja gak sih? Gak bisa juga cuy kalau kita dikasih tahu ininya trauma juga kali orang ini.
Oh, no. I don't like those kinds of objects. No sale. Aphotic paths, counter-radiance networks, anti-magnetism. It's darkness. That's all I know. Sell me something lighter.
You have absolutely no idea what aphotic paths are, but the tattoos on the man are not that.
Another time, perhaps. I doubt it, but I can try and answer any questions you may have. I do my best to keep my distance from all manner of butchery. Bad for business, bad for everyone.
Temen aku makan ya, Muwn, siap-siap, aman, santai.
He doesn't know anything. The pawnbroker's gaze is already fixed on the dancing colors.
Udah selesai sidang tuh, mantap. Gimana tuh sidangnya?
Someone else came here earlier today asking the same question. I promptly sold her the gun you pawned a couple days back.
Hah? Lah senjata kita berarti itu? Buset dah.
This is a pawn shop, and it did feel as if you've met before. Oh God, the lieutenant shifts from one foot to another, alert.
At least I know how I lost my sight, bener sih.
Of course.
Tadi siapa yang beli? Cewek. Siapa ya? Destroy high and EPS. Kalau misalnya bodoh aja ngapain nanya itu. Kita jadul di mana nih guys?
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Some on horseback, others in rags.
Draft facing kita udah
others yet
tinggi nih.
in bright blue uniforms. All are stern and unyielding in their duty. Why? What's this? A headless man riding a horse? A headless man wearing futuristic tracksuit trousers that say found.
Nah itu ini. Soal tuh yang merek armor ini nggak sih, armor yang tadi orang mati?
Oh, that's the Headless Phone Rider. The Headless Phone Rider. It's an urban legend about a man who rides the streets of
Phone tuh ini.
Revachol sporting a fawn tracksuit. As you see, he's missing his head. 50 cents. Bargain priced. I'll throw in the tiny cap too. I think he's looking for it, or something. That part of the story has many interpretations.
He lost his cap when he
Itu kita
lost
tuh.
his head.
Itu kita tuh. Itu kita.
Perhaps he's looking for the head.
Itu kita. Ngapain? Nggak usah. Itu yang merek celananya si siapa namanya? Kuko. Siapa namanya? Cuno. Iya, Cuno. Siapa? Iya, Cuno. Mereknya Cuno. Dia waktu itu sombong tuh gara-gara pakai celana itu doang. Ini apa nih? Kuning.
Wow, a very large red t-shirt with an impressive print stands out from the other garb. Oh yeah, the print depicts a muscled man striding toward you, a giant sword in each hand, encircled by burning embers. Behind him is a cluster of cabins engulfed in flames. Beneath him are the words, Hjelmdal burning. The antlers on the hood of the man's cloak and his piercing blue eyes are familiar.
It's the man from Hjelmdal.
Walking away from his burning village. Yes. Huh? Oh, I see. That's tough, man. I feel the same way sometimes.
Oh, ensiklopedia nggak bisa ngebantu kita tuh.
Hjelmdal is the hero of a series of popular books based on a fictional version of Kotla. In fact, most people don't think that man from Hjelmdal ever really existed. But they are wrong.
Hjelmdal isn't a real place.
Neither is the man a real man, of course. But both the man and Hjelmdal are an ontological necessity. But hey, it's not worth getting into an argument about.
Wow, what?
I mean, even if the man from Hjelmdal didn't exist before the adventure novels, the stories have made it so that he has. It's simple, really.
Okay.
You sound skeptical. It's not that complicated. All that's required is a more robust understanding of cause and effect. Besides, I've been to Kotla, though not quite as far north as the Hjelmdal, and watched northern lights travel across the sky. Very unique, energetic tides there.
It's for the best, because Hjelmdal is not a real place, and thus he could not have gone there. His theory isn't exactly incoherent, but its logic does suggest some unusual neural activity. Interesting.
Udah.
A typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and table lamps.
It was brought to me to be altered.
We are not here to investigate the theft of city property. You have to admit it's rather clever what he's done with it.
Harus tidur nggak nih?
Evening, officers.
A burly man hangs out by the waterlock, carving up a generous serving of salami with an old hunter's knife. His eyes are fixed on a man stranded on the other side of the waterlock and on an enormous billboard that has fallen down into the canal between them.
My friend Barry the Butcher is stuck on the other side of the waterlock. I'm keeping him company and eating this salami.
From the corner of your eye, you see a man in a yellow shirt and grey overalls waving at you from across the canal. He seems disappointed about the wreckage on the waterlock and the salami.
Very good stuff. Anything I can do for you, officer? I wasn't here to witness it, but those look like tire tracks on that sign. Weird, huh? Then again, plenty of daredevil drivers in Revachol. Too bad it also takes a year and a day to repair anything around here, especially a waterlock. The rest of the coast is closed off till then. Well, there's the fishing village, an abandoned fish market, a bizarro church. Not much use to the congregation, though. There always seems to be something wrong with it. Yeah, not really much else. Just bombed out ruins.
Bisa lihat autolog mulai D3, oke siap.
Sure thing.
It is salty, it is savory, it is chewy. The hangover only makes the salami more tasty.
Aku tidak tahu bro secil itu.
Want some too, officer?
Lemot dulu anjir. Dadah. Oke. Apa nih?
We should think about calling it a day maybe. The nights are still miserably cold this time of year.
Oke, dikasih tahu buat tidur nih.
You should take care of that then. Let's talk to him anyway. An officer of the RCM shouldn't be sleeping in the street. We'll figure something out.
Iya dong, kita polisi coy. Masa nggak boleh tidur sih?
Can I help you? Yes, have you got it? Does that arrangement include you paying me what we already agreed you owe me? Game? Everything is just a game to you, isn't it? Good luck trying to use it.
Draconian measures.
All the locks have an electronic component. They have to be unlocked down here with a... Not until you bring me the money.
Okay. I might have something in my motor carriage we can use when you're done here.
Oh, Lieutenant, we're done here. Yes, have you got... Does that arrangement include you paying me what we...
I understand your predicament as the manager. However, I feel I must remind you that we are here to conduct an important investigation that also affects your business.
Forgive me for saying this, but your colleague seems more committed to drinking, and I mean no offense. It's really nothing personal. I just have to protect the interests of this establishment. Oh, wonderful. Try to do that. I'll have to call you an ambulance. Not until you bring me the...
Okay. I might...
Oh, Lieutenant, we're done here.
Kita nyanyi aja. Nanti siapa tahu bisa masuk ya.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers arrayed.
I have something here we could sell. Look in the back, in the suspect transport enclosure.
Transport enclosure? Regular people just call it the cage. The cage at the back of the motor carriage looks rather uncomfortable. 4 shiny hubcaps are stacked against the seat. Their silver edges sparkle in the dark.
I confiscated this for a little while back. We can take them to the pawn shop down by the Martinez Canal.
Hah? Oh. Wah, terima kasih Kim. Oh, kirain gue itu kayak lockpick gitu.
A couple of weeks ago, I stopped a young man for going slower than the speed of traffic. Turns out he was some coalition official's son and high.
Velg ya?
I took them and arrested him for driving under the influence. I don't know. Is it? I was going to take them into evidence, but they weren't necessary for conviction. He never asked for them back. There are spinner hubcaps, frivolous things you put on your wheels.
Oh.
Honestly, that sounds like an amazing physics demonstration.
kita taruh enggak lah, kita taruh di
Yes, the Bird's Nest Roy, near the canal. We've been there.
Items that can be pawned at Bird's Nest Roy's appear in your inventory under the Items tab. You can
Okay.
pawn these items when talking to Roy.
Okay.
The lieutenant nods as you take the spinners.
Gila, baik banget Kim. Anjay.
Greetings on this fine night. What brings you here? The pawn shop is always...
Yes, we'd like to sell these hubcaps.
Roy takes the hubcaps from the lieutenant and inspects them. The spinners appear iridescent in the dancing light of his pawn shop. Gone forever.
Yes, these are very, very good. Did you defraud some foreign prince for them? Jump a misc banger? No matter. I'll give you 200 real.
No
Nice.
one was defrauded
Mantap.
or jumped, I assure you.
Of course, I meant no offense. 200 real for you, officer. Delightful doing business with you. Do come again.
Orang-orang loak gini kan,
Thank you.
dia pasti beli barang yang bisa dijual dia
Here's
kan.
130 real you need for your bill. Do not waste it.
Sisanya mana? Kim.
The rest
Nah,
is for
canda-canda.
him, to compensate for the pain of being separated
Yeah.
from his radiant spinners.
Rakus banget gue minta 70-nya.
Anything else you're thinking of selling?
Baju. Ntar deh.
Another time, perhaps.
Can I help you? Yes. Have you gotten well? Great. Thank you, officer. That's all I wanted. Payment for services rendered. If you continue to stay here, I just ask that you please pay your nightly bill in advance starting tomorrow. The
Berapa
electronic
emang?
lock to your room has been disabled till 9 p.m. tomorrow. Please pay for each night in advance starting tomorrow. 20 real per night.
I'll take a room here too.
Of course. Always happy to have officers from the RCM as guests. Anything
Nyanyi
else
kali
I can
guys,
do
guys.
for you?
Nyanyi gak sih? Nyanyi gak sih? Nggak lah. Tidur aja kita guys. Besok bisa nyanyi, Akan selalu ada waktu untuk nyanyi ya guys. Si Kim tidurnya di mana?
This is the door to the room you redecorated.
Just a moment. We should talk about our progress on the investigation.
Belum bisa bang, soalnya belum dapat
Let's go
kasetnya.
out to the balcony.
Ya ampun. Oh, debrief.
The air outside is brisk. The lieutenant is silent for a moment. He listens to the traffic hum. Then,
Now then, we should talk
Nah, ini
about
baru
the
bonding nih.
investigation. But I also feel you're a bit hazy on the RCM. Our role here, our rights, our jurisdiction, basically.
Anjay, lucu juga. Stay nighting, just look at the night.
the dying lights of the city shimmer below. Slowly, like luminous clouds, they pass on his lenses. The lieutenant looks at his slim cigarette, contemplating the next drag.
Mana juga orang mau bobo malah ceramah. Emang gitu anjir kalau polisi. Hari selesai nih pasti ada kayak kita habis ngapain aja gitu. Polisi coy, itu prosedur polisi. Gue juga pengen tidur beneran nih.
An aerostatic passes overhead, the whiskers of its floodlights on the ground below. Kitsuragi's glasses light up as he looks to the sky. Two glowing circles.
Iya, pas tadi gue pengen masuk, gue pengen udah babay itu bye, gue pengen tidur. Masih mau ngomong lagi nih si Kim.
They really don't like us here. And the mouth on that kid, you know. It's different in Jamrock and the GRIH. It's our fault for leaving this place to the dogs, to the union, to the company, not daring to come here more often.
Coba Kim jangan diapa-apain dong nanti ya.
Jurisdictions of our two precincts. We run this city. West of the river is RCM land. It's incredibly hard. Human beings are. But we are in control, and it's worth it. The organization works. Our systems work. If they didn't, the city would disintegrate. Me too. But I wouldn't count on any drastic changes in our lifetimes.
He is very tired, but the dark circles under his eyes make him look younger, not older.
Well,
Gimana hari ini, Kim?
the victim's body, so that's good. It was not easily approachable in that state, but we did it. I would say our initial inspection was very thorough, and we have solid leads to follow up on. In addition, we got that body down from the tree, and we performed a field autopsy on the victim. We found some things we can really work with. Moreover, you found that the hanged man wasn't just hanged, he was also shot. That was some excellent detective work. And you managed to locate and pull out the bullet, so we can get back
Yoi.
to the gun.
Ya santai aja. Kita mau sombong atau enggak? Humble kali ya. Humble aja ya, humble ya. Humble lah. Ya itu hal yang iya. Cuman itu yang yang bisa aku lakukan.
The rest is up to the boys in processing. Maybe they will surprise us by doing their job for once, but I wouldn't count on it. We also performed a thorough search of the crime scene. All in all, we handled the situation very professionally. Now for the interviews. Including Evrard Clare.
Iya benar.
Adversary, if there ever was one. He wasn't particularly forthcoming with useful information, however.
He's not saying much on the matter because he thinks you could have gotten more out of Everard.
Kita jujur ya? Jujur gak sih? Kita jujur gak sih? Baik banget Kim.
We will have to work through that.
Iya.
Claire also helped you, how should I say, remember your name? That's a relief.
Gue gak suka sih kita tahu nama kita.
That's normal. It's best not to give it too much thought. We talked to Joyce.
Gue suka gitu, nggak ada dapet nama kita.
I have a feeling Joyce knows how dangerous the situation really is. We have to get her to talk to us.
We talked to Joyce Moiser. How dangerous this situation really is. We have to get her to talk to us. Yes.
Is emphasizing something this much.
Okay, Joyce.
Really
Ingat Joyce ya.
be important.
Above all, though, today was exhausting. What's with
Dia pengen ngomong apa ya?
You run a lot. Is that a standard Precinct 41 practice?
Kita lari begitu banyak.
It's impressive, to say the least. For a man your age, especially. Those are some stylish shoes too, by the way. Those loafers. Must be hard to run indoors like you do.
Terima kasih, Kim.
They're quite limited, actually. The power officers of the Revachol Citizens Militia exercise most frequently is imposing fines of up to 1,000 real for offenses, in accordance with an interdepartmental schedule. Yes, although indirectly, as citizens can always request records from their local station. Officers of the RCM have been known to take bribes of less than the prescribed fine.
Iya, pastilah.
It undermines trust in the RCM. The RCM's primary role is to ensure safety. We are not really supposed to play any part in the economic structure of Revachol. We can arrest people, of course, but rather than bringing someone in directly, it's preferable to serve a station call slip. It prevents confusion and overcrowding. We are permitted to use whatever force we deem necessary, even lethal. That's an improbability, perhaps even impossibility. Precinct 41 is known for a higher than average rate of police violence. We don't convict. We arrest and send them to coalition government courts in Muwn and La Delta. The prosecution works off our testimonies and records, which is why it's paramount to keep them. The coalition government and the moral intern more broadly. The RCM was formed by the coalition government to restore order in the international zone after the revolution. So we did. Now we attempt to maintain that order. No more, no less. Or perhaps it is better to say we were allowed to form. It's a point of contention whether the citizens of Revachol or the coalition government formed in the RCM. Be sentimental if you like. Either way, the moral intern leases us the right to keep the peace in this city, and they will take it away if we misuse it.
Or if they think you do.
The Moralists International are the world's largest political organization. You know who they are. They have been running this place after the revolution failed. There are a union of center-left and center-right parties across the Real Belt. Our coalition government is just one of its many projects. They also run the ICP, EPIS, most intergovernmental organizations in the world. The moral intern are a fact. I try not to have opinions on facts until they change. And it doesn't look like that's about to happen. Do you? In fact, we would need them even if you didn't think that way. We are in what is called the twilight of international law. The laws we claim to enforce come from the MI. Without them, we are simply vigilantes. Spoken like a revolutionary, not a cop. But hypothetical aside, in Martinez we already are vigilantes. At least the union thinks so. I expect our job here to prove quite challenging. I have a cigarette every night when I go over my notes. It's something of a ritual.
Oh man, he looks so devastatingly cool with that cigarette.
How did you get so cooking?
It's an unnecessary try.
Bagus game.
Yet, were he to quit, he would lose
Itu
the
lucu
cool
banget.
factor. This man relishes his cool quite a bit below it all.
Yes, it's been a long and eventful day. Yeah, it's getting very cold. Let's go.
Sebat aja. Kita end di sini nggak sih? Soalnya kan nanti tidur mungkin ada dialog gitu di kepala kita. Habis itu udah next day. Dan mending kita end di sini nggak sih? Ya, kita mending end di sini aja kali, teman-teman. Gila, terima kasih ya teman-teman yang sudah hadir di sini walaupun stream lumayan mendadak ya. Game over ya, terima kasih teman-teman. Iya, nih. Iya seru sih, tapi kayak apa ya? Nggak nontonable banget gitu. Atau nontonable? Apa yang nonton enak juga? Gue nggak tahu sih. Kalau yang main seru, tapi kalau yang nonton kayaknya bosen ya. Kalau belum pernah main sebelumnya. Kan kalau episode sudah pernah main kan. Jadi kayak tahu gitu. Nggak tahu sih gue. Masih oke aja bang. Ya gue juga mau terus main ya. Karena seru. Terus kayak ya seru sih. Terus beda gitu. Dan kayak tapi ya sih buat yang belum tahu pasti bosan soalnya baca-baca doang. Iya. Kalau yang belum pernah main. Iya, tapi nggak apa-apa sih. Iya. Seru. Kayak apa ya? Gue tuh kan suka kan kayak detektif gitu ya. Kayak dan kita karakternya bener-bener lupa gitu. Jadi bener-bener kayak kanvas kosong gitu. Bener-bener kita yang ngebuat cerita dia sekarang dari sekarang gitu. Karena cerita dia yang sebelumnya kita nggak tahu juga. Dan nggak terlalu penting gitu. Kayak kita bener-bener bisa ngapa-ngapain aja gitu. Dan dibikin jadi detektif menurut gue menarik banget sih. Jadi kayak kita bener-bener pengen tahu gitu dunia. Terus kayak iya itu menarik sih menurut gue. Kayak kita jadi detektif gitu. Ada gak sih game yang kayak gitu lagi? Kayak kita jadi detektif kayaknya ada sih banyak ya. Dari semua dialog soal Harry sama jangan let's bener sih. Kayak ya gue udah liat cermin sih. Lihat aja tuh sama udah tahu Harry. Tapi gue suka gitu kayak anonymity apa bahasa Indonesia? Kayak ke anonymity banyak tapi sedikit yang selevel Disco Elysium. Kayak detektif ya, gue suka deh kayak game-game detektif gitu, kayak kita mencari tahu ini kenapa nih. Ada satu game yang gue inget kayak itu lagi, gue lupa namanya apa, kayak detektif gitu, first person gitu. Tapi ya anonim, kayak dengan membuat karakternya anonim gitu, kayak karakternya kayak beneran jadi kita gitu, karena belum ada nama, jadi kita bisa buat itu sendiri gitu, kayak karakter itu bisa relate ke kita gitu, karena nggak ada nama dan nggak ada muka gitu, nggak ada mukanya bisa jadi kita gitu, atau kan namanya bisa jadi kita gitu. Itu lebih imersif sih menurut gue ya, dengan kita nggak tahu nama karakter utamanya. Anonymity apa? Sifat. Nggak tahu lah, pokoknya anonim gitulah. Kita nggak tahu siapa kita, nggak tahu muka kita, itu ngebuat kita lebih gampang relate, karena itu bener-bener kayak kosong aja gitu. Kita yang ngebuat cerita dia dari sekarang gitu. Kita yang ngejalanin hari-hari dia gitu. Dan kayak gue nggak mau skip kenapa-napa sih. Kalau ada sim kenapa-napa gue nggak tahu dah. Sedih banget kali ya, duh. Tapi ya gitu deh. Ini seru. Pengalaman yang seru banget. Ada sih detektif, bentar gue cari dulu deh. Kayak pixel gitu gue ingetnya. Terus sih gila. Oh ini nih. Shadow of Doubt. Tapi itu game komedi sih. Maksudnya kayak ini kan kayak serius banget ya. Ada politik, ada perang gitu. Ada yang muda yang tua, ada revolusi, ada Shadow of Doubt. Maksudnya itu bisa jadi game komedi. Jadi ya Shadow of Doubt. Dan itu benar-benar nggak ada ya, kita mungkin bisa nyoba sih nanti ya kalau lagi. Ya ini lagi promo sih dia. Tapi ya lumayan mahal sih. Tapi lihat aja deh nanti. Oke, terima kasih teman-teman yang sudah menonton Disco Elysium hari ini. Jam segini tapi enak juga ya jam segini dibanding malam-malam banget. Kita udah 3 jam juga nih. Udah mau 3 jam. Tadi gue mulai jam berapa? Jam 10-an. Jam 10, jam setengah 11 lah ya. Ya terima kasih dah teman-teman. Si dia udah tidur, mau tidur, kita juga tidur. Ya, selamat malam teman-teman. Jaga kesehatan kalian semua. Jangan lupa minum air putih. Apa lagi? Dan terus melakukan skill check di kehidupan kalian. Karena nggak salah juga untuk melakukan skill check itu. Paling malu doang kan. Kan kalau di sini malu tinggal minum obat kan. Tapi di dunia nyata harus juga melakukan skill check ya. Udah ini aja, fearless aja. Apalagi kalian masih muda nih. Sering-sering ngelakuin skill check, sering-sering ngelakuin masalah. Gitu. Itu sih pesan dari saya malam ini. Terima kasih teman-teman. Tetap melakukan skill check. Skill check apa ya? Vibe check. Ya pokoknya itulah skill check kalian. Terima kasih teman-teman. Saya pamit undur diri dulu. Salam sejahtera. Salam satu jalan. Salam untuk Reva Show. Anjay. Dadah.